We started off the morning with You Know Who with Aretha Franklin, and then we moved on to, and we started with Anita Baker, and then we moved to Aretha Franklin. Good morning to you, Grenada, Carriacou, Petite Martinique, the rest of the Eastern Caribbean. To you, wherever you are, it is a wonderful, a terrific Tuesday morning, and welcome to the sound, the voice of classic in the morning time. Classic 105.5 and 105.9 on the FM band. You slept, you were awake, we were roused, and we are ready to do this. Another great day in God's wonderful creation, and I'm Joseph Cador, and I'm here to keep you company, kickstarting your day. The soulful music that it was, Anita Baker giving you the best that I've got, and that's the way we're committing ourselves today, that we're going to give life, give ourselves the opportunity with the best that resides within us, that we can deal with the ever-changing times. And that's exactly the plan for today. As you wake up, giving yourself the best that you've got, one of the opportunities that you give yourself the opportunity to add to your vocabulary, and certainly we do that every morning, and today's going to be no different as we plan, as we go through this day this morning. So the word for the day, and Mikey, you're going to work with me, and the word for the day is audacious. The word of the day, audacious, and it is an adjective. Audacious is spelled A-U-D-A-C-I-O-U-S. The word of the day, audacious, and intrepidly daring, adventurous, as on audacious mountain climber. The word of the day for today is audacious. And why is it my system decides to freeze? That's the word of the day, right? So again, how do you spell the word? And remind you that it is an adjective. A-U-D-A-C-I-O-U-S. Intrepidly audacious, daring, adventurous, recklessly bold, rash, or audacious, somebody that is contemptuous of law, religion, insolent, as an audacious maverick. Yes? So other words that you can use for audacious: bold, bold-face, brash, that's the local one, brazen, brassy, brazen-face, cheeky, fresh, insolent, nervy, sassy, or saucy. Just a few of the words, other words that we can use to represent the word, to replace the word audacious, as we work on expanding our vocabulary in the morning. So the word for the day, audacious, A-U-D-A-C-I-O-U-S. That should hopefully help us this morning. So we've looked at the word of the day, and today we're just going to add to the word of the day as well. We're going to add, before we get even to the tips of the day, not just, we have different tips for you. So today I'm going to add some health tips for you. 10 tips for healthy eating, improving your lifestyle. And today we encourage you to consume foods cooked from home more often. So go easy on eating out. And there's a lot of reasons for that. So consume home cooked meals over that of foods you get when you eat out. Eat only as per required, as per your requirement. So, because everything else that you consume otherwise, you know what happens to it. Eat at regular intervals, and I know many folks that wait until they go into a crazy crave. You're encouraged to munch on healthy snacks like fruits and fresh fruits and vegetables and so on. Eat when you are hungry. And you're also encouraged to consume whole grains more often, eat more proteins, eat fish from omega sources, and include a healthy fat in your diet. Healthy fat, less saturated and more unsaturated, and eat a variety of vegetables. Just a few tips, health tips for you for today as you go through the day. Because remember, the plan is to improve on our lives daily. We're going to improve on our lives daily. So I'm going to quickly just throw a word of the day for you. And this one: the man or the woman who follows the crowd would usually go no further than the crowd. The man or the woman who follows the crowd will usually, Grenada, go no further than the crowd. That's as far as they can take you. But the man or the woman who walks alone is likely to find himself or herself in places where no one has ever been before. The man or woman who follows the crowd would usually go no further than the crowd. Some people, the masses, that's as far as they can take you. But the man or the woman, the individual who walks alone, is likely to find himself or herself in places that no one has ever been before. New frontiers, new horizon, an opportunity to see new things, do new things. Sometimes in life you just have to walk it alone, Grenada, as you go through. And sometimes we are tested not to show our weakness. And it's just part of that walking alone in which we are tested. And sometimes that testing is not intended to show our weakness, but to discover our inner strengths. Sometimes we are tested, Grenada, not to show our weakness, but to discover our inner self. Because the truth is, son, is only when we pressed, when we find ourselves as a rock in a hard place, alone in a weary land, when no one else can help us, when it's just you and the elements, your situations and your circumstances, and you can rely on no one else. That's when you find the mettle of the individual, of who you are as a person. Well, while we at it, though, we're keeping our eyes on the COVID dashboard, and to the as of yesterday, November 15th, we had 2 new cases, giving us a total number of active cases of now 63, and the death toll, it has remained, that's where it was for the last couple of days, and I'm happy that it is stuck there at 200, and we're not interested in it going any place else. But reminding you that while you're doing that, in case you are interested in possibly going and get your tested and doing your vaccines and getting your vaccine and all that, you need to remind yourself that there are a number of vaccination sites across the island, Kirani James Stadium, all of the health centers across the nation, as well as today we add SAMs, and SAMs, they will be available from 12 p.m. until 3. Yes, that's what's available today. What's the numbers for the health center? Because if you opt in to use the health centers, then it's imperative that you call in advance to make an appointment. COVID-19 protocols in full effect, and you must walk with some form of ID. But just to give you the numbers quickly before we run: 440-3371 in St. George, Grand Bras 442-7623 in St. David. It is 444-6249. Sotez is 442-9317. Grove Health Center is 444-8414, and Hillsborough Carriacou is 443-7280. Plan your day, do what you've got to do, and keep yourself in good health. Remind you, as you would plan, for those of you that's leaving the house, COVID-19 protocols remain in full effect. We're getting more ready for the morning edition, a production of our News and Current Affairs Department. For our viewers on television, we send you back to Studio Control, where you get a rebroadcast of some of the top stories from last evening's newscast. The morning edition is next, right here on Classic.
Top story this evening. An injunction has been filed against Prime Minister Dr. Keith Mitchell and Minister of Health Nicholas Steele by leader of the Grenada Renaissance Party, Martin Washington Edwards. The injunction seeks to halt the current vaccination campaign while challenging the named government ministers for infringing on the rights of Grenadians. Gerard Joseph has more.
The injunction was filed on October 22nd against government's COVID-19 vaccination campaign.
What now we demand is that they should cease giving the vaccine, and that the pushing of the vaccination by the ministers and this government should stop.
Martin Washington Edwards, the leader of the Grenada Renaissance Party, says he's concerned with the lack of information being given to the people on the vaccines and what it consists of. noting that Grenada's first 153 confirmed cases were cured without the vaccine. Mr. Edwards has questions that he said require answers.
So my question is, what is the purpose of the vaccine? Okay, if the vaccine, like other vaccine, then I can see. And now you're taking this vaccine, they tell you have to take a booster. No other vaccine in the history of the world have any, I would say, chaos like this vaccine.
Part of the injunction relies heavily on the infringement of the rights of Grenadians.
It's a factor that you have a right to make a decision, and most of them in the job because they were influenced by people in the government, what to do, that's the employers, and these employers enforce that upon the workers. Many of the workers leave, and some of them who took it got sick, and some of them die. And this is some of the things that we need to be explained to us by our government. How many people take it and die? How many people got, I would say, affected? And this is a fact that should be explained to the people.
The Renaissance Party leader reiterates that the injunction calls for a stop to the administration of COVID-19 vaccines, as well as providing relief to those affected.
Off-season of the vaccine, and also that people who got who've been affected by the vaccine should be, I would say, compensated, both by the government as well as the, like SU. SU is not the government. They create appetite in Grenada and also hotel industry. They should be also punished and make them, I would say, compensate all these people who got affected.
GBM reached out to Attorney General Dia Forrester for a comment and was told by his secretary a return call from the AG's office would be forthcoming. However, despite continued efforts up to news time, a response proved futile. Government, meanwhile, continues to encourage the Grenadian people to take the COVID-19 vaccine as the best choice towards saving lives and livelihoods. To date, there are 3 vaccine options available: AstraZeneca, Pfizer, and most recently Johnson & Johnson. I am Gerard Joseph for GBN News.
Opposition leader Tobias Clement has welcomed political leader of the National Democratic Congress, Deacon Mitchell, into frontline politics. He believes Mitchell is on the right path to challenge Prime Minister Dr. Keith Mitchell in the next general elections. However, he is warning the NDC leader to never underestimate the sitting Grenadian leader.
37 years in this ball game taught me a lot of lessons. Some people have learned some serious lessons about politics. They would learn. They would learn. It might be easy to buy a political party, but it's not easy to buy the people of Grenada, Let's get it right. That one difficult.
That was Prime Minister Dr. Keith Mitchell responding to the election of the National Democratic Congress political leader, Deacon Mitchell. This was opposition leader Tobias Clement's response to the Prime Minister's statements.
One has to have a lot of respect, or you will try to have a lot of respect for Dr. Mitchell as a person, as a politician. He's very astute, and you cannot take that from him. I remember back in the day, or in the late 80s, it was H.A. Blaze who said, the worst kick to get is a kick from a dying mule. Now, that is a man that is at the end of his tenure, his end of his days. And I leave it onto the hands of the Lord.
Having been a long-standing member of the New National Party, Tobias Clement resigned in late 2019 to become the country's opposition leader in April of 2020 and announced his alignment with the National Democratic Congress on August the 11th of this year. Being one of many prominent Grenadians asked to respond to the election of Deacon Mitchell as the NDC leader, he said the new executive elected to lead the NDC is a good move by the party. Although Clement is not an official member of the NDC, he said discussions with the party for some form of alliance continue. Clement said he congratulated Mitchell on his election as political leader of the NDC while taking offense to some of the statements uttered by the Grenadian leader towards the younger Mitchell.
He said you could buy a party, but you cannot buy votes. But my question to him openly, yes, we do not know. He's assuming that because he's in Parliament, but I can go back In 1989, I was young, but I was there. I can ask him, how did he get NNP? Let us not go there. I would not go there today. But I spoke to young Mr. Mitchell, Deacon, and I said to him, as St. Paul said to Timothy, let no man or woman despise your youth.
Clement warned that Prime Minister Dr. Keith Mitchell should not be underestimated, although in the end, it will be the Grenadian people who decide.
After the calculations, after almost 40 years of Dr. Mitchell, I think the writing is on the wall. And his time has come. And we will do what we have to do to get the Grenadian people ready for the election coming up. It will be an interesting election. It will be a very interesting election, but it's one that we all will be waiting for and ready for. And me, so more than everybody else.
Cherry and Blackburn Stephen, GBN News.
Meanwhile, leader of the Grenada Renaissance Party, Martin Washington Edwards, says he is ready to serve. As the excitement builds to the next general elections, constitutionally due in 2023, Edwards says he is not daunted by the current political climate. Here's Gerard Joseph.
Confident? Are you still confident?
I'm always confident. It's just sometimes you get people around who belongs to the opposite and opposite party. They come and fake and pretend they're with you, and at the end of the day they were not. That's the only thing that gave us setback. But this time we are taking our time, and God is blessing us. We're getting better candidates.
Grenada Renaissance Party leader Martin Washington Edwards tells GBN that he is still in the running as the build-up continues toward the 2023 general election. Grenada Renaissance secured 44 votes from 5 candidates in the 2018 general elections. Edwards says he will not be merging with another political party to strengthen his chances in the lead-up to Grenada's general election.
No. The only party, listen, most of the parties and them, Renaissance is purely for agriculture, agro-industries, better health and better education for the people of Grenada. Most of them are going there to have a pocket.
He is advocating for a better constitution that gives proper balance of power to the branches of government.
So what Britain has given us for constitution is pure rubbish, and I'm ready to give a constitution to Grenada that will give Grenada pure independence, and no individual comes as a prime minister or anything like that and do the garbage what our government, our prime minister and them are doing at this time.
Meanwhile, the Renaissance Party leader addressing the new NDC executive led by Deacon Mitchell says he is not yet convinced that he will make a good prime minister.
He was one of them working for SGU, and under him, while he was still there, SGU made this a mandate. And obviously I cannot consider him as an effective leader if he will stay in Grenada and allow a foreign nation to come in and make something mandate which should not be mandated. So I cannot see his effectiveness in anyhow.
Mitchell had defended his law firm's representation of SGU on unvaccinated workers.
My responsibility as a lawyer to a client is a completely different skill set from my responsibility to the citizens of Grenada as a politician.
However, Edwards also contends that NDC's effectiveness is in question, especially as it relates to the party's vaccination stance. I am Gerard Joseph for GBN News.
And now to this story. 9 months of emotional torture for a father fighting to just hug his son. After several court actions for the cause, Stevenson believes something is not right as he still cannot gain access to his son. He wants someone in authority to step in and help him in this matter. Chrislina John has this story.
Alwyn Stevenson told GBN he came to Grenada from London after what should be a 3-month vacation for his 9-year-old son almost 2 years ago, which has now turned into a no return and total deprivation from him seeing his son. Stevenson says he wanted his son to get a Caribbean experience, and that is now his nightmare. He relayed his story to GBN on Monday.
Because I sent him here on a holiday for 3 months, which is about a year, nearly 2 years now. I'm here nearly 9 months now fighting for my son in courts. before I come here, I couldn't sleep at night because my son is my life. I believe my son, I grew up with him. Well, from birth to stand, and now my son don't want to see me. And that's the reason why I'm here. I leave my business, I leave everything, and just come here. I don't know where I'm going to start when I go back.
He said several court actions yielded no success.
Matter is finished now, so the judge make a ruling that I could see my son while I'm here, like on weekends and like when he have school and things like that. I didn't feel that the judge made the right decision because he's my son. I'm the father. Miss is the grandmother. Miss don't have no rights over my son, and the judge clearly gave Miss rights over my son.
Stevenson believes the judge's decision was not fair to him. On several occasions, the court's ruling, which allowed him visitation rights on some days, was violated with no consequence.
I went there because of the judge ruling just to get in for the weekend, and they clearly refused me again. And this was going on. It's about 3 court hearings. The judge said to them they can't deny if I see my son, and up to now, well, since I come to Grenada, I never see my son. I never hug my son. Taken back to court twice. And the judge clearly make a ruling the last time here, I think it was last week or week before last. If anybody violate the ruling again, he's going to put my son in a home. He never said to me, okay then, if I make any mess up again, he's going to give me my son. No. Anybody violate the order, he's going to put my son in a home. Which I think that shouldn't be the case. It's just said, okay, if any party mess up the violation or the ruling, I'm going to give the other party. The whole case is a mess, and the judge, I don't know what's happening. And anytime I try to get access to my son, I take lawyers, I take police, I take everything there, and nothing happening.
Attorney George Prime, who represented Mr. Stevenson in court, did not wish to openly comment on the outcome of the matter. However, he said he has advised his client to seek further legal action. GBN sought to get copies of letters and other documents for reference of what his client has stated. However, Prime explained that because the documents were signed privately, he cannot share copies of such material. Christina John, GBN News.
Don't click and don't share. That's the advice being given to Grenadians once again who have been receiving WhatsApp and other social media messages that highlight giveaway promotions from various local and international companies. This comes as the official logo of Republic Bank Grenada Limited is being used to attract locals to a recent scam. Rena Perry-Thomas tells us more.
One of the most recent scams locally involved the logo of Republic Bank Grenada Limited, where scammers used the bank's official logo to promote a €2,000 reward if persons only click on the link and share it with friends on social media platforms. The bank on its website and social media pages has since informed the general public that the promotion was in no way connected to the company. IT specialist and online advocate Jarvis Dabrio, who identified the scam, explained that simply clicking can be used to penetrate the security system of devices to steal identities and even create financial havoc for victims.
I think what is important is understanding that once you click on a phishing link, you've unleashed a world of problems on yourself. Understand that something like a keylogger, getting onto your computer, is something to actually lose a bit of sleep over, because a keylogger is going to record everything that you type in, whether it's your password, your PIN, information for your bank, your online banking, the messages you send. It doesn't matter. It captures that and it sends it back to whoever is on the other end, naturally a bad actor.
According to W, as the Christmas holiday comes closer, more of these scams will surface, and as such is warning Grenadians to not be so easily attracted to free offers. The IT specialist had this advice for persons who already compromised their devices by clicking the link.
What do you do if you did click on the link, you did interact with it? You need to scan your device. If you're running an Android device, Google have that protection that is built within the Play Store. So you go open the Play Store app. In there, you go to the settings menu, and you're going to see the Play Protect option in there. You could run a scan. Some people may want something a little bit more robust than that, something that, they're a little bit more familiar with. And then you monitor the device for any abnormal behavior over the next few days. Overheating, your battery is draining faster than it should, pop-ups that you didn't have before. Look for apps that you did not install that may be there now.
Scammers in recent times have been using local companies and institutions' logos to make their tricks more believable to the local population in targeted countries. The advocate is calling on companies to put proactive measures in place to address these issues, as it can affect them negatively.
Companies now need to be a little bit more aware of what is happening in the virtual space. They need to maybe have one or two persons just there monitoring, or maybe outsource it to some other entity. So once these things start making the wrongs, you're able to say, hey, this is not from us. Because let's assume there's a Coates one, or a Hubbard's or Huggins one, and they say you win free food for a year. We know they have this official thing running all over the media. But imagine if the scammers was to piggyback on that and get that to make the wrongs. Imagine the number of people that they're going to catch.
People are reminded to be on guard when it comes to scamming strategies that are being used, and once noticed, persons should avoid and report these activities. For GBN News, I am Rena Pear Thomas reporting.
Minister of Climate Resilience, Senator Simon Steele, who represented Grenada at the United Nations Climate Change Conference in Glasgow, said negotiations are critical just 2 days before a revised climate deal has been struck. In an interview with international reporters, he said Grenada is particularly under threat from the effects of climate change, namely coastal storms, flooding and drought. Gerard Joseph has that story.
We need to hold the line. Words of Senator Simon Steele prior to the new global climate deal being struck in Glasgow. He went on to say, and I quote, "We owe our children, our grandchildren. This is critical now. The next few hours are going to determine the new dawn." End of quote. Grenada's Minister for Climate Resilience told reporters that he believes if they leave Glasgow with the principles that are outlined and the key tenets of the text as it stood then, they would have gotten the most out of the climate change conference.
The text is balanced. It's in accordance with the Paris Agreement, and it addresses the gap and how we should move forward. It keeps 1.5 alive.
It does keep 1.5 alive.
It keeps 1.5 alive. If there are attempts by parties to weaken that, then that would be an issue.
Senator Steele, prior to the final deal, said, and I quote, "If the text that's on the table now withstands the battering that it may get, yes, we are holding on by our fingernails to 1.5 degrees. However, changes to the draft came in the form of disagreements to phase out coal from India and China."
All parties need to step up and continue to lean forward. This is not about one party, it's about all of us. There are some who bear the greater responsibility and the greater burden. They all must step up.
Sovereign nations were also divided in regards to finance for developing countries such as Grenada, which is already feeling the effects of climate change. The government of Grenada has committed to transitioning to renewable energy by 2030. However, sustainable financing remains an issue. Recently, the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank announced the aim of tripling renewable energy usage in the region by 2030 via homegrown solutions to financing, while making use of the excess $23 billion in liquidity within the ECCU banking system. I am Gerard Joseph for GBN News.
And now we turn our attention to what has been creating a buzz on social media. Rena Pear Thomas has been looking around the platforms.
We present the news. You analyze the various topics and distill the issues as they unfold. Your distillation points matter as we're about to highlight them in our Social Buzz report.
On the fourth day after Grenada welcomed the first cruise ship to its shores, the cruise ship terminal was abuzz with hundreds of passengers disembarking from two large vessels. The Grenada Tourism Authority officials, as well as members of the media, were present for their arrival. GBN brought this story, and you, our online audience, took to the comment section to air your views. Raul Benjamin said, God gives men and women knowledge and wisdom to create vaccine protection for the world. Thank God. Thanks to the scientists of the vaccine for that invisible monster killer, Mr. COVID-19. God works in mysterious ways. Amanda Charles commented, way to go, Grenada. We're coming to come. Hazel Gilbert wrote, there is a state of emergency in Grenada till May 2022, according to government. But you have cruise ships pulling up? Look up the definition. Rebby Gunpot said, Grenadian people, the government don't care about us. They released the curfew to 12 for the accommodation of tourists and money, not for us. And this man talking about vaccine and booster, can it save us from catching the virus? Donna Mae Marcella asks, if we get the second wave in the virus, who's gonna get the blame? And finally, Cynthia B commented, please do not let your guard down. Glad to have the visitors, but please be cautious. That's a wrap for tonight's Buzz. Continue to share your thoughts and concerns with us on our social media platforms.
You have been waiting on it all year. Now, it's your chance to make this Christmas better than ever. Get the extra cash you need with a Make This Christmas Better loan from the GUT Credit Union. Get up to $50,000 to celebrate your Christmas and make your holiday dreams come true. Home improvements, new furniture, a vehicle, debt consolidation, or even a vacation. We can help you get there. Yes, you can. Make this Christmas better with the GUT Credit Union. It's where you belong.
Life's moving moments don't always work as planned. That emotional hug during the graduation ceremony, sudden sightings of old schoolmates during a shopping trip, things can go a little off track quickly. With 15-way voice and video calls, group chats with up to 1,000 persons, and free messaging, Bib helps you share the happiness and be prepared whenever life hits. Keep the good times going. Share it on Bib. Bib, more than just a messaging app. Download Bib today.
Once upon a time, we shopped at Wonderland, then Neverland. But we're all grown up now and no longer believe in fairy tales. So now we just shop at Shoes R Us. At Shoes R Us, we stock the latest in shoes, tops, and jeans for the fashion-conscious lady. We also carry colognes and much, much more. And for the modern trendy male, we have the latest brand-name shoes and sneakers, Converse, Reebok, Nike, K-Swiss, Puma, and much more. So check us out at our two convenient locations, Melville Street in St. George and Ben Jones Street in Granville. At Shoes R Us, we say, come shop with us.
Are you looking for quality herbs and herbal supplements, or are you thinking about having a complete body cleanse to jumpstart your health? Then no need to look further. Visit Nirvana Natural Health Clinic, Detox Center, and Natural Health Store. We carry a wide range of herbal products for kidney and gallstone cleansing, male sexual enhancement formulas, asthma and sinusitis, gas and bloating, acid reflux, constipation, arthritis, imbalanced hormones, female health issues, liver cleansing, weight loss, and so much more. Also available, colonic irrigation, holistic health consultations, essential oils, and diffusers. Look out for our online natural health store coming soon. Call 231-6642 for 18-7115 or 449-7753 to find out about our delivery options or to book an appointment. Visit us at Belmont St. George's, close to the Foliage, Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Nirvana Natural Health Clinic. Detox your way to health.
Total is one of the world's largest oil companies with a top quality line of lubricants. Total Lubricants has a full product line from passenger cars, motorcycle, heavy industrial equipment, mining, trucking, agriculture, and manufacturing machines and vehicles. Total Lubricants, winning championships in motorsports, including Formula One and World Rally Championships. Total Lubricants are available at all Rubis service stations, leading automotive shops, and distributed by Huggins.
Spare your pocket, spare the earth, always at when let you come first. Save energy, save our time, we choose your wattage and we choose your time. When you use appliances, make sure you buy energy efficient every time. Spare your pocket, spare the earth, always at when let you come first. Spare your pocket, spare the earth, always at when let you come first. Grenada. Is key. How you mean? How you mean? It's Simon Akeem. Yeah, 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 yeah. Well, I come from a broken city, full of broken dreams, but no hope fulfill we. Still we are go rise like the sun in the morning, cause we culture strong and tough. My people speak with a broken tongue. Ever upward, never broken down. Always give thanks for the life where we got, even if we have to eat from a broken pot. For we breakfast, lunch, and even with dinner. And we no really fuss for no Benz and Beamer. Just maybe a B13 fully loaded, with the sounds turned up to the top. With a broken government, still we get through. With a broken pocket, still mommy make do. As one people, we are build and aspire, determined to blaze poverty with fire. We are do the thing right. Live life with all our might. Bring good vibes to everything inside. That's why them call we the Isle of Spice. We are do it with ease, calm and cool like the island breeze. Coconut water keep we heart clean. On this rock life just too sweet. Well, I come from a broken village where the ministers steal and rob and pillage. Teachers can't find food, them a suffer while we leaders bread, well, toast and butter. Insecurities run deep, so enough ghetto youths not achieve their dreams, cause the same leaders them now give the youths them a feature when them need. Little by little still
a trickle, even if we in a pickle, cause the system fickle. Still me show love to the same ghetto youths where I come in on my yard and thief my bicycle. With poor health system, still we get through. With poor legislation, still we make do. As one people, we are build and aspire, determined to blaze bad mind with fire.
And certainly, good morning, and welcome to the sound of classic and GBN television in the morning time. It's a pleasure being here with you. Education, no doubt, it plays an integral part in developing oneself, and not just as an individual, but of course, it's the vehicle out of poverty. It's a vehicle to transcend and to change the status quo of the individual, the community, and by extension, a country and the world at large. And certainly is on that premise, I want to say good morning to my dear friend Carl Duckworth of the U.S. Embassy. And certainly there is a program and an initiative that the embassy is piloting, Ed USA. Good morning to you, sir. How are you?
Good morning. It's been far too long since I've been on Good Morning Grenada.
It has been a while.
Your music gets me going in the morning.
Yeah, well, it's a kind of music that really, music is intended to move and inspire us on the inside.
That's a perfect tee up for actually what we're going to talk about. So
education.
Yes.
Education. The vehicle that
okay.
takes us to the next level. And for you at the U.S. Embassy, you're playing your part and you're reminding us you've remained totally committed to that process, haven't you?
We absolutely are. We're partnering with our colleagues at U.S. Embassy Bridgetown to host International Education Week, which is this week. It's a chance for us to really talk to people in Grenada and around the world about the benefits of education and international exchanges, to open that world view that I think is so important in today's world. And it's really an opportunity to celebrate the benefits of education. So thanks for having me on today. Our big announcement, of course, is that we're going to do an Education USA Caribbean College Day virtual event this Saturday. It'll be noon to 5. It'll be a chance for people around the Eastern Caribbean, Grenada included, to reach out and talk to more than 40 different colleges and universities and see if it's a good fit for them. I think Grenada, of course, has seen so many benefits from international education. We have St. George's University right here with thousands of U.S. students come here. They interact with Grenadians, they spend money, they live and understand Grenada. And we'd like to see that number increase going the other way back to the United States as well. I think last academic year we had about 140 or so Grenadians studying in the U.S. And it's one of the biggest questions I get.
So Saturday, the opportunities. If we could get into some of the specifics and maybe highlight which are some of the colleges that would be participating in that virtual event.
Sure, there's a whole range of colleges. Usually what they'll do, again, in pre-COVID times, different universities and colleges will go around recruiting international students, and they'll do it in person. They'll have representatives there, and again, from a range of colleges. And they'll talk to individual students to see if it was a good fit. And part of that calculus, part of that conversation is it's a big city it's a big university in the city, or it's a smaller university out in the country, what kind of programs they have. And I think most importantly, especially which is the question I get from so many Grenadians, is what kind of financial assistance do they have? And you know, I think a lot of people in Grenada, they do know about the Yales and the Harvards and the NYU,
right?
All fantastic schools. But this is a chance for them to connect with students, ask the students what they are most interested in. For example, agriculture is very large in Grenada. I know there's young people coming up right now who want to revolutionize the agricultural sector, and they can figure out whether that's a good fit. There are plenty of universities and colleges in Oklahoma and Texas and other states that might have great programs that would be a good fit for the students. So this is a way to connect the students here to those universities.
And you will agree that with the advent of COVID, that and the greater the thrust to online learning, and with some of the restrictions to travel, that maybe this the exercise would open some new frontiers, new opportunities for colleges and other institutions that are open to these online platforms for education?
I hope so. I mean, I think as we've seen a revolution in the way people work. I mean, for example, I used to come into the studio to do these kinds of interviews, but now we found a way to do it. And I think it's just the same with universities and colleges. And my hope is what we'll see is still providing world-class education, but through mechanisms such as this. And what I hope is frankly, is cheaper as well, because some of these costs are housing the students or having them in large groups, air conditioning, all the different things that go into having a university and having in-person classes. So what I'm hoping in the long run is that this will revolutionize the way that colleges and universities are done and make it more accessible to a wider range of people. And speaking of accessibility, I'll also note too that one of people ask me a lot about visas, student visas to go into the United States. And that is something that is done in Bridgetown. But I've seen the percentages actually a very good acceptance rate, and they will have a session about visas, about financial aid on Saturday as well. So for all the people who want to kind of unlock that mystery, there will be a presentation on that as well.
And certainly this would provide a new frontier to strengthen the relationship between the U.S., Grenada, and the Caribbean by extension.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think the best. I think international exchanges and studying another country opens so many doors and opens such a wonderful worldview. I will say for myself, I studied in Korea, and I also studied in Ghana, and both of those experiences I think changed my life forever. And I can say that they really opened my eyes to a different perspective. Different points of view, different ways of living, and I just have to, I treasure those memories. And I think I would love that experience for everyone. And again, I think that the cultural ties are pretty wonderful as well. I know that the students who are at SGU, they go back to the United States and they talk about Grenada. Many of them come back to Grenada. We saw that during COVID. Many of them came back to offer assistance during COVID. And I know that many people who from Grenada who go to the United States also, get great jobs later on, or they come back to Grenada and actually do wonderful things here as well.
And you would agree that it transcends beyond just education, but you pointed to it, the culture, the sharing of cultural values. It certainly would help in a period of time where we seem to be so intolerable of each other, and where there is conflicts in different parts of the world. It's really a nice tool to use education as a way to bring us together as a people.
I will second everything you just said, and I'm in total agreement. We say, learn from other people's point of view by walking in their shoes. But I think, having a university experience, sitting shoulder to shoulder with a whole range of people, with a range of different viewpoints, and getting into honest and meaningful conversations with them. And that's what a university and a college is all about. It's really about, it's not just the teacher up there saying, hey, this is the way it is. It's about the teacher presenting an idea and the students talking about it. And I think the benefits to that are incalculable. And again, I would love that experience for everyone who wants it.
So the event is on Saturday, but and imagine there's a parent sitting there, a college student, and is saying to herself, okay, after the exercises is all over and done, where to? What is the next step?
Absolutely. So I have a program called Education USA, and we have a representative here in Grenada at TAMCC. And a part of her position is specifically to meet with students and parents and talk to them about the different options for study in the United States. It's to really help you research your options. She talks to you about financing your studies, completing your application, because again, that application can sometimes seem very daunting. Applying for a student visa, and really hopefully preparing for departure once the student is accepted. And her name is Kier Alexander John. She's over at TAMCC. And we've already cleared this with her, so I'm going to give out her phone number. It's 440-1389. and her name again is Curl Alexander John. And I would love, obviously I don't want her to be overwhelmed immediately after this radio show, but I would love for students in Grenada to pick up the phone, or parents in Grenada to pick up the phone and at their leisure call her and start discussing these options. Again, the Education USA program is such a fantastic way to connect students from, again, applying for university is such a daunting and challenging thing, especially when it's another country. And she can help ease that, absolutely.
Is this a one-off exercise because of COVID, or is this a program that's been that was rolled out? It's just a continuation of an ongoing program.
Well, the Education USA is actually a long-standing program that we have in 175 different countries around the world. I came from Ecuador, and we had multiple advising centers there before Grenada. We have the one here, but we also have other advising centers around the Eastern Caribbean. And they are, whether it's a year from now or 5 years from now, either Curl will be there or somebody will take her place who will do this kind of work. And again, it's such a fantastic program. I hope people take advantage of it. And again, I'd love for everybody to know about it as well. I think I mentioned at the beginning, one of the biggest questions I get here in Grenada when I'm just around in stores or wherever is, how do I get a scholarship or how do I get financial aid to study in the United States? And she can help answer some of those questions.
Indeed, I know Curl, and I can probably assume that she's probably listening on as well. And I know that she's very, very committed. And you would agree, sir, that while there's a cultural exchanges, it's probably it serves as an important. This is an important juncture where not just Grenada, but other countries around the world is trying to recover and redeem itself from the fallout, the economic fallout of COVID-19. And certainly education will play a pivotal role in developing that agenda for long-term sustainability.
I 100% agree. I mean, again, I'm so happy to see here in Grenada right now that, the spread of the last about 2 months or so, we've definitely seen a vast improvement. I see multiple days in a row where there's no spread. So right now, I think, Grenada is in a much better place. And I think to really take advantage of where Grenada is and where it's headed, you have to have a good education. There's so many opportunities in the tourism sector. And I love that entrepreneurial spirit the Grenadians have, but education will absolutely help in that pursuit.
And for those colleges, I'm assuming there's going to be no limit as to the range of studies or the field that one can actually get to or programs that students can get involved in.
No, you're absolutely right. Again, among these 40, again, I would expect everything from communications to political science to the hard sciences. Absolutely. So I think there'll be a little bit for everyone there. And I'm also going to announce, too, that during this week, we're going to have a virtual scavenger hunt for the Eastern Caribbean. And this is through the U.S. Embassy Bridgetown's Instagram page. So what they'll do is they'll release a hint every day at noon. And then the complete instructions are there, but they'll release a hint at noon, and people can go out and find the thing that they're hinting at. And the prize includes about $1,500 US worth of prizes, including an Apple MacBook. So helping set up someone, I think, for university studies.
A little bit of fun for those who find themselves on social media. We know that for the U.S., your commitment to the Caribbean and Grenada, it has been unrelenting, and it is there. And I know you see the information superhighway as the new frontier for education, and as well as the potential for economic growth, and the U.S. is committed to being part of that support mechanism.
Absolutely, I would 100% agree. Again, I think we talked a little bit about the changes to the way that people do business. You're seeing almost, I don't know if revolution is too strong a word, but you're almost seeing a revolution in that approach in the United States. People working from home and continuing to do so. And again, I think that's going to affect education as well. I think it'll be up to individual students of how they want to approach this, because some people For instance, I'm an old timer. It would be more difficult for me to learn at a computer. I need to be sitting right there and having face-to-face interaction. But I think for some of the younger folks coming up right now, that's not going to be a problem. That's what they've grown up on. That's what they're used to. I certainly know that my 3 kids here, they do online learning, and it's fine for them. They still do want human interaction, don't get me wrong.
Right.
For the learning part of it, they're fine with that. So.
Based on your information, your knowledge, sir, in terms of the turnaround, the phase, the online event is on Sats, is on this weekend. Persons wanting to get engaged, which term, what semester are they potentially preparing for? Is there any limitation, or is it something that's been done now, let's say for a year, 2 years down the line, or can somebody decide, I'm going to try my hand at a scholarship, let's say for the January semester or September next year?
So my recommendation would be, if you are approaching, and I'll leave it open, say 2-3 years, I would plan on attending. I think it's never too early to start thinking about where you'd like to attend. I mean, there's so many different universities in the United States to choose from, and I'd almost go so far as to saying that there are enough universities out there that you can find the one that is right for your particular set of needs. Whether it's the amount of people, the way that they teach, the course load, etc. Whether it's urban versus city, urban versus rural, I think there's plenty of opportunities out there. So it's never too early to start. So my recommendation would be, maybe as a family, sit down, and you don't have to attend all 5 hours, obviously, but sit down, start listening to what they're saying, and that will start giving you a guidance on where you might want to aim in the next couple of years. Now, obviously, if you're coming up on application time and you're not quite there yet, then come in, listen to the whole thing, get the specific tips on visas and things like that.
Right.
But if you're a couple of years, I think it's worthwhile to listen as well.
So this will be a platform that should be quite engaging, not just for those at the tertiary level, but maybe those still at secondary school, as you say, that's think futuristically. What are the options and potential that is available?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard. I mean, I wouldn't, again, I know my kids, and I think if they were to start listening to this now, it would just kind of all go over their head because they're not mentally, they're not there, they're not thinking about university yet. They're still too young. But I'd say if you're within about 2 or 3 years of that decision, It's not too early. I think that's just about right.
Education certainly continues to be one of the main areas that the U.S. continues to support Grenada and the rest of the region. Any other areas of interest before we wrap, sir, you probably would want to share out?
Yeah, I mean, I'll say too that the United States gave just under 30,000 doses of Pfizer several months ago. We hope to continue that Pfizer donation so that the rates of vaccination increase here in Grenada. I think that's important just as Grenada opens up to more tourism, to cruise lines and things like that. I think that level of vaccination is going to be important because it will potentially give you access to those bubbles that the cruise ship people are moving in.
Right.
For operators, for the taxi cab drivers, et cetera, et cetera. We're also looking at some other donations coming up, but I'll have more details on that later. I think probably in early January.
In early January. Well, as we look forward to the new year, Christmas and the new year, maybe we can start thinking of it as our early 2022 gift from you.
I think it would be great. And as we come up on Christmas and the winter holidays, I just want to wish everybody a wonderful, wonderful winter, and I'm so happy to see the improvements in Grenada as far as COVID goes. And my best to everyone and their families.
It is indeed a heartwarming place where we are compared to where we were just a couple of weeks ago. When I looked at the chart this morning, as of yesterday, were just 2 new active cases. But certainly, the curve has literally flattened. I like to say it's not flattened. It has been completely decimated and removed. Total annihilation of the curve. And I think for you, for us here in Grenada, the region in a whole, and I think for the world at large, before you run, so I know it's not your necessary area of expertise, but if you want you to share, what is you would think is one of the the learning experiences that we can take away from COVID as we advance as a Grenada, a region, the world at large?
No, absolutely. I mean, I think we're going to be talking about this, I don't think it's an exaggeration to say we're going to be talking about the effects of COVID for many years to come, how we interact as people. I mean, I've noticed here in Grenada that, possibly rightly so, the handshake has gone away. We bump elbows or bump fists. The handshake has gone away. And I love the handshake, so I hope that's not a long-term effect. But I think, kind of we hinted at it before. I mean, we're seeing this not only in the United States, but around the world, people's approach to how and where they work, instead of going into work and working in a cubicle, but the idea of working from home. This COVID really tested our resilience, not how strong we are, but how we react to these challenges. And I think people are focusing now kind of on their own health, both their physical health and their mental health. And the idea of working from home is appealing to a lot of people. So I think that's one of the things that we're going to see change. Again, there may be some more effects too for international travel and things like that. But I think this is a topic we are going to be discussing for many, many years to come.
Indeed. And I think for the younger generation, the whole idea, so you and I, we've probably gotten used to leaving home, going to the office every day. For the younger generation that's into the technology, the same way you and I, we've been forced to embrace it wholeheartedly. I can probably see for them, COVID, for them, they're probably thinking, it just fast forwarded what was inevitable for them anyway, in terms of the opportunities, and it only shows that in terms of career opportunities, that listen, there's no part of the world that is off reach. And I think COVID has shown us that we can sit in Grenada and we can be working, making a living, operating for a company, whether it's somewhere in the US. The opportunities are endless, you say?
I think they are. My one hope, though, is that we, I mentioned it with the handshake, but that we, especially for the younger generation, that for instance, my kids, this COVID is about what they know right now and staying at home and working through remotely. I would love for them to learn how to go out, meet people, interact face to face, not just show a little bit of myself on a small screen, but really get to know each other again. So I look forward to those days. And again, I've said it before and I'll say it again. I'm so happy I'm in Grenada at this time. There's nowhere else I'd rather be.
Well, I'm looking for the day when you and I can sit in studio again before your deployment in the region is all over and done. My dear Sir Carl, it's indeed a pleasure being with you. What's your breakfast this morning, though?
I haven't had breakfast this morning. I know we always wind up talking about food. I think I owe you a Philadelphia cheesesteak. I haven't had breakfast yet. I think maybe some eggs with some jalapeno bread. We'll see.
Well, maybe if you...
I got accustomed to gravy and spice. So.
All the best to you, sir. Take care of the family. And my chance, we don't get a chance to link again. Wishing you all the best. In terms of the season, happy Thanksgiving coming up to you, and certainly advanced Christmas greetings to yourself and the family. Wishing you all the best.
Always a pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
Take care. All the best to you. Again, there, Mr. Carl Dirkwood, representative from the U.S. Embassy, and certainly gives it's an opportunity for each and every Grenadian to consider where to from here as it relates to education, the opportunities, and certainly log in. And you can see what are the opportunities that are available. Call Curl at Tab CCS. Curl, I think she's out of office now, but certainly if you call her, she would certainly make herself available. Good morning, Curl. I know your workload is cutting for you, but I know you are committed for it. We take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back right here on Classic in the morning time.
Hydrated after an emergency or disaster. Store bottled or clean drinking water in tightly covered containers. Store at least 1 week's supply, 1 gallon or more a day per person. Do not drink tap water until you are told it is safe to do so. A message from the Grenada Food and Nutrition Council in collaboration with the Ministry of Health with support from the Pan American Health Organization.
Get Rubigas! Get cooking! Rubigas, clean, safe, and reliable LPG is the perfect solution for your commercial and everyday needs. For cooking at home or barbecuing, choose Ruby Gas LPG cylinders. Available in a variety of sizes from 20 to 100 pound cylinders. Ruby Gas LPG. Clean, safe, reliable. Are you cooking with Ruby Gas?
Get going.
Are you looking for quality herbs and herbal supplements? Or are you thinking about having a complete body cleanse to jumpstart your health? Then no need to look further. Visit Nirvana Natural Health Clinic, Detox Center, and Natural Health Store. We carry a wide range of herbal products for kidney and gallstone cleansing, male sexual enhancement formulas, asthma and sinusitis, gas and bloating, acid reflux, constipation, arthritis, imbalanced hormones, female health issues, liver cleansing, weight loss, and so much more. Also available, colonic irrigation, holistic health consultations, essential oils, and diffusers. Look out for our online natural health store coming soon. Call 231-6642 418-7115 or 449-7753 to find out about our delivery options or to book an appointment. Visit us at Belmont St. George's, close to the Foliage, Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Nirvana Natural Health Clinic. Detox your way to health.
A whole new level of convenience and comfort awaits you when you shop at Rise and Shine Supermarket and Hardware Supplies, Griffin Lane, Grenville. Convenient, because we are open Sunday to Sunday. We're even at your service on public holidays. Comfort, because we are easily accessible to the physically challenged. Free Wi-Fi is available while you shop, and bags come at no charge. Everyday low prices and excellent customer care. Adequate parking available. We supply everything you can possibly think of. Family and home supplies, fresh meat, vegetables, and personal care products. All brands of cooking gas at affordable prices. You can send in your order, have it pulled, or pick up express.
Spare your pocket, spare the earth. Always at Grenland, you come first. Save energy, save a time. We choose your wattage and we choose your time. When you use appliances, make sure you buy energy efficient every time. Spare your pocket, spare the earth. Always at Grenland, you come first. Spare your pocket, spare the earth. Always at Grenland, you come first.
Classic 105.5, 105.9, and welcome back to our viewers that have joined us on GBN Television. For those of you that's on our social media platforms, we say a hearty good morning and welcome to the program. We literally almost stretched out for time this morning, but certainly it is indeed a pleasure. Reminding you that for owners of fishing vessels, and that the registration and licensing period process, which the annual process, it continues today, and the team is going to be in Sates on the jetty from 11:30 to 2:30 p.m. So you want to make sure that you do that. COVID-19, we continue to see the numbers. The curve is literally not just flattening, it is disappeared, and we want to leave it that way. But the question is, how do we learn to adjust and live with COVID? Well, it's learning to appreciate the value and virtue of doing the right things. The social distancing protocols, the wearing of the mask, the sanitization, and it's interesting that those are not necessarily things that's new to us. It's the things that we've been told all our lives. Sanitize, do this, do that. If we coughing, you don't cough in the open air. You use your You use your elbow, sneeze into a tissue, you discard it. It's basic information that sometimes we take for granted. It's like when you go to school and they teach you subject and verb agreement, the elementary, the basics of the language, the basic mechanics of the language that you tend to forsake and only to realize that years after, wow, but okay, that's the importance that it serves. Yeah, when the teacher says it's not that, it's that, and they, and them, and those. And you just callously ignore it, and then you realize years after the importance that it actually makes to you. But as you go through the day, in case you're interested in getting tested for COVID, or you have other plans maybe for vaccination, remember that there are a number of sites across the island. Today, SAMS is adding, they are available on today, and that's from 12 until 3. And also you can go to the stadium. You have access to Gate B at the National Stadium to be part of that exercise. Somebody was asking for the numbers for the health centers. I'm going to provide that to you in just right. So the numbers for the health centers, I give it to you again. So in St. George, the number is 440-3371. Grand Bras 442-7623, St. David 444-6249, Sates 442-9317, in Grove it's 444-8414, and at Hillsborough Carriacou 443-7280. If you those are the numbers, and you are reminded that you must make an appointment to visit those health facilities, as you can well appreciate limited spacing, COVID-19 protocols in full effect. If you need to call the hotline for whatever reason, the numbers are 458-4787 and 538-4787. So the last 4 digits remain the same. The flow number is 458-4787, Digicel 538-4787. Keep those numbers in mind. And you are reminded, as it relates to COVID, that there's an addition to the suite of vaccines as available. Johnson & Johnson has been added to the Pfizer and the AstraZeneca that is already available. And I almost forgot that, yes, testing is also done at Dr. Francis Martin's office on Grenville Street, Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. And on Saturdays, it's from 9 until 2 p.m. For those of you that's interested in being part of that USA, that online scouting pro exercise that takes place on Saturday, call the time CC 440-1389. 440-1389. And that is the number to ensure that you get the relevant information that you need. And as Mr. Dorkwood said, start thinking advance, plan in advance as you do. As we get ready to wrap, I want to leave reminding you of one of the thoughts of the day. Sometimes we are tested not to show our weakness, but to discover our inner strength. Today, you dig deep and resolve and commit to yourself that I can because I must. I can because I must. We leave it for today. We leave the conversation here for now, reminding you at the top of the hour we will join the BBC for a bulletin of news. To the point would be at 9 o'clock this morning. Until then, so long everybody. JC loves you. Have yourself a great one.